Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is 5 things that we learnt watching Manchester United win 3-0 at Villa Park. Oh my God, we're mint. Before we even get into this, can we just talk about the fact that Manchester United have gone on a 17-game unbeaten run and are still fucking 5th? That is doing my head in. Luckily, the league table has gone and now it's so close. It is in our hands. It's in our own destiny. But it's not just that. There's only 4 games left. Now, I do fear United are going to fuck it up in these 4 games, and I think we're going to try and over-rotate, but I still have a little bit of faith that we're going to sneak into that top 4. And why? Because we're turning up and we are doing our job. In at number 1 then, Mason Greenwood is the best teenager ever to play football, I reckon. Yeah, we're having that. The kid is absolutely on fire, and he might be the beneficiary of coming out of lockdown and absolutely smashing it the most. We saw Bruno Fernandes do this prior to lockdown. We've seen Paul Pogba have these sorts of performances in the past. We've even seen Tony Marshall hit a hot streak, but we've never seen a teenager like Mason Greenwood who's having such an impact, just absolutely killing it. There's some phenomenal stats coming out there from him at the moment. Check this out. His left foot, he's took 21 shots. He's scored 7 goals. That's 33% return. 33%. 3 shots, 1 of them's going in. That's insane. Literally insane. Oh, and his right foot, you mean his weak foot, Steve? Yeah. 20% of the shots he takes with his weaker foot go in. To put that into any sort of perspective for you, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, remember him, one of the most lethal finishers world football has ever seen. When he played for the Manchester Red United, he was having a 12% conversion rate with both feet. Mason Greenwood's weaker foot is almost twice as good as Zlatan's both feet. Mint. He scored 4 goals from outside the area. He's got 5 goals from inside the area. He's now only 3 goals off Fowler's record of 12. That might be a bit of a push for him to get. He's not going to get anywhere near Michael Owens, but you have to remember how many games he's actually started. When he started, let me throw this at you, this season, Mason has got 10 goals in 10 games. That's all competitions, not just Premier League. From the right wing, 10 goals, 10 games. This kid can do anything he fucking wants in this game. He's mint. Number 2 then, we are no longer reliant on a single source of goals. One of the problems with Jose Mourinho's Manchester United was Paul Pogba was the guy that had to create. And if it didn't come through Paul Pogba, well, man, you're fucking scoring today. And that was a massive issue for Manchester United because you can double mark one player. And I always used to reference Manchester City. If you take out De Bruyne, they've still got Sterling. If you go, right, you get Sterling, you get De Bruyne. Okay, who's getting Aguero? Right, you get Sterling, you get De Bruyne, you get Aguero. Right, who's getting David Silva? Fuck's sake, right, you get... Do you know what I mean? Manchester United now have got a 5-piece. Giggity. United have got a 5-piece that's doing bits. We've got Tony Marshall, we've got Mason Greenwood, we've got Paul Pogba, we've got Bruno, we've got Marcus Rashford. We have got 5 players who can both create and score goals. Against Aston Villa, those 5 players all registered a shot on target and all registered 1 key pass. Key pass meaning a pass that leads to a shot on goal. This 5-some is creating and it's taking chances, and that's why Manchester United have been formidable post-lockdown, because we have got more than 1 player getting involved in the creative aspect. Bruno's not reliant on it doing it on his own. Pogba's not relying on doing it on its own. The 3 forward players, I didn't think that they would have the right sort of balance amongst them. I thought they might be a little bit too attacking, but somehow it fucking works. So, happy days. The interplay, the build-up, the movement, the ferocity, it's very reminiscent. I'm going to say it lightly so no one gets really giddy. But if you're going to clip it up, make sure you tag me. Of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Number 3 then, Matich has earned his new deal. Now, we spoke about this quite a few times when we was looking at different things that we've learned at the start of Ole's reign. The midfield 3, which was actually, before we get into that, Phil Jones, weirdly, was one of the centre-halves that was a big part of that unbeaten run that Ole had when he first took over the club. But let's ignore that because it don't really fit any agenda that we want to roll with. But the midfield 3 that we saw was Herrera, Pogba and Matich. Now, obviously, Pogba's not fully taken up the Herrera role. He's taken up a bit of a different hybrid role. It's very deep, but it's very much a playmaking role, very Carrick-esque on the ball, but he's doing his own thing off the ball, and he's been involved, probably giving a little bit of legs to Nemanja Matic. But make no mistake, that was the three that was very key to what Solskjaer did in his early reign as manager. Now, the Bruno, Pogba, and Matich midfield three that we've seen so effectively since lockdown is phenomenal. But let's just focus on Matich a second and look at these stats. 92.6% pass accuracy, 2.5 tackles per game, 0.5 interceptions, 1 foul, 0.5 dispossessed. That's stats in the league since restart. I mean, that's amazing. Those are fantastic stats for a midfielder. Those are... The intangibles is probably what's adding to Matic. The leadership, the aggression, the knowing what to do and the right sort of decision making. Those are the things that you can never really throw a stat against. But those are the sort of things that he brings. Now, the new contract is going to take him until he's 34. Now, we saw when Jose Mourinho ran this guy into the ground, he looks terrible. You have to protect this guy a little bit. You have to look at what Sir Alex did with Rio, what Sir Alex did with Evra, what Sir Alex did with Giggs and with Scholes. If you want to prolong these guys' careers, you can't play them twice a week, which is what makes next week extremely important. Manchester United definitely need to rotate next week. How we rotate next week is up for anyone's guess. Number 4, Pogba's new role. We touched on this a little bit last week, but we're seeing him really embrace it. And there was a time during the game where we was like, do you know what? Pogba's a little bit quiet tonight, and then he just goes and absolutely skills someone out and then plays the ball over to the opposite wing, and you're like, he's fucking well good, isn't he? He scores his first goal in 553 games, but the stats from his game last night are what really impresses. 11 out of 11 long balls, 90.9% pass completion, 3 key passes, 2 out of 3 aerial duels. Pogba had a top game. Oh, and also scored a fucking unbelievable goal, which he just passed into the corner of the net. Like, Pogba had an unbelievable game without being spectacular. And that's all we've ever wanted from Paul Pogba. You don't need to take extra touches. You don't need to skill someone out every time you get it. Just do your job in a team and you will get noticed for it. Roy Keane has some really interesting stuff to say where he says he doesn't think he wants to be the leader of a team, and maybe it didn't suit his personality, but maybe the circumstances of the move, being a £90 million player, world record transfer, the big Adidas sort of poster boy, the new signing at United, maybe all of those things forced him into needing to do more than what he's happy doing on the pitch. But now someone else is there to take the limelight. Paul Pogba can concentrate on doing what he is, and that is just a fucking good footballer. Still want to see a new contract though. New contract, commit yourself to this club and the fans will fucking love you, mate. But you need to sort your brother out because he's a fucking witch. Number 5 then, record-breaking Reds. I actually can't believe that this stat's a real thing. United had a first team to win 4 consecutive Premier League games by 3 or more goals. How has United never done that? Now, I know, obviously, the league has gone like this. You're seeing more teams batter more teams than you ever did. It's the least competitive league that it has ever been. And the teams at the top are decent, and the teams at the bottom are fucking garbage. But I could have sworn Manchester City must have broke this record. Manchester City are regularly putting 4s and 5s past teams on all the fucking time in the last few years. How have they not managed to break this record? All of the fucking Ollie out crowd, where are you now? No team. And the way it works, right, with like Liverpool are about to have a record-breaking season, even though they've lost fucking all sorts of games this year. They're now the greatest team ever, or at least in a conversation for it. Well, surely the team that's won by 3-0 4 times on the bounce is the greatest team ever, right? No? No. No. Maybe the team that wins 3 on the bounce in terms of titles and also wins the European Cup as English champions. I think that's the greatest English Premier League team ever. Twice. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, as always. Make sure to check the link in the below. If you would like to check out some of the Paddock FC merch, the away kit is on pre-order if you would like to get in the mix with that, but you can get the home shirt, any of the hoodies. The Umbro stuff's absolutely fucking fantastic. Check it out, link is in the description. Patreons, you get a discount. Check your Patreon messages for that as well. But cheers for tuning in. Make sure to come and check out all of the stuff that's going on this weekend. Let me know in the comments how you've enjoyed the merger this week with Full-Time Devils and Stretford Paddock. Has it been everything that you hoped? Is the watch-along that we do the best watch-along in the history of watch-alongs? Of course it is. It's in a bit.